Yeah, it
The
depends.
weather out there, absolutely.
Yeah, it got up to 105 degrees here today.
Wow.
In Florida?
Yeah,
Huh, you're usually cooler than us now. It was 88 here.
Yeah.
Pretty warm out there. Sure felt like more than 88, but I managed to go swimming with my grandkids and got myself sunburned yesterday, so
There you go.
not too smart.
Uh,
Old but not smart.
Yeah.
I was
Old age
thinking
is,
that you might be out sailing.
I wish I was, but I actually was signed up for a sail yesterday, but they canceled it because of that squall that came through.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have been out there, wouldn't have wanted to be out there in the water. The skipper that canceled that sail was smart cooking.
We've been getting these squall or warnings about bad weather on the ocean regularly. Excuse me. Regularly lately. These storms just pop up.
Well, it's normal summer afternoon thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to some areas of the country, they're even more regular than they are here. I lived in New Mexico for a few years, and that's pretty much what happened almost every day from about mid-July to about mid-September.
Oh,
I
Most
hear
days
that's
you had a downpour sometime between 3 and 6 p.m. for 30 to 40 minutes, and that was it.
same thing in Florida, eh, Drew?
I
what?
don't know if they get monsoon weather, do
Uh,
you?
a storm every morning.
Not every morning, but usually in the afternoons because
Right.
the heat builds up during the day, and then we have scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's the typical thing. But it's very prominent in the Midwest or Southwest, I guess.
But it was this morning, the heat index has been very high. Even this morning, I get up every morning at 7 to walk my dog at 7:30,
mhm.
and it was 85 degrees as the actual temperature,
Oh,
and it was almost 100 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
yeah, I my AC went down last week. I had to pick a day to climb in the attic to work on it.
Ah,
And that was really, really hard. I ended up doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the night because that was the coolest day. And it wasn't a particularly convenient day, but the next day after that, it was supposed to be 5 degrees warmer. So I appreciate the balmy 75 in my attic.
What were you
Fortunately, it
able
was
to? You were able to fix the air conditioning yourself.
sure. And
What was the problem?
one of the common problems is that many of these units have a run capacitor,
oh, okay.
and those capacitors will age out and stop working, and your AC will get noisy. And after that, it will hum and not start up, and you'll hear Freon running in the lines, but no, but the blower won't kick on, and you will see ice on your lines outside. That's a pretty common symptom of that. So I
Okay.
just swapped out the capacitor, cost 10.99 on Amazon,
Oh,
and off it went. I would have said humming, but it's not humming anymore.
Now,
It's just working.
how did you identify that the capacitor was the problem?
Well, it's a very typical symptom, these capacitors are, and I literally took the capacitor out and set my multimeter on, and instead of 7.5 microfarads, which is what it was supposed to be, it was just under 6, so it was about
In the
20%
meeting,
off.
this meeting's host has enabled Zoom's AI.
Oh,
Really?
say so. Hi, Andy. We're talking about AC and run capacitors because we talk about everything here.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the last time I had my AC serviced, he replaced the capacitor. He
Yep.
measured it and saw that it needed it.
10.99 on
It's on the
Amazon.
outside. I was just thinking, now that you mention it, it's something that I might learn how to do on mine.
Not rocket science.
No, a lot of these things aren't. It's just
Knowing what to do. Yep.
and we
Yeah.
can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. See, I have a common air conditioning problem here in the community that I live in. Actually, it's not just my community. We run our air conditioners here 365 days a year.
Sure.
And there's a drainage pipe. When they
Mhm.
build the house, there's a right near where the compressor is. Well, not the compressor, the air handler.
Right, the blower.
There's a little flotation device that sits in a tube with water, and if the water comes up to a certain level, it shuts off the air conditioning, and that's because it's not draining properly.
Mhm.
Right.
And the drain pipe goes down underneath the slab and out through the front of my front yard, and it
Oh,
gets clogged. And when it gets clogged, the air conditioning stops.
really? It doesn't drain into your house's drainage?
No, it
Interesting.
goes. There's a drain pipe that goes.
Right.
The
I mean,
PVC pipe.
some of them will run to the French drains in the basement or something similar like that.
Yeah,
But it's
all of the houses around here have pipes that drain to the outside.
right.
And the first time that I had this problem, I called the air conditioning company. They came over and they used a shop vac to suck the gunk out of the pipe, and that freed it up. So I ultimately went out and bought my own shop vac for $80, and instead of paying them $100 the next time I needed to help, I used my shop vac. And then recently, I bought a device called iFlow, and it attaches to the air handler, and there's a bottle of liquid that's an enzymatic cleanser. And
Oh, nice.
every 2 weeks, it injects a little squirt of this enzymatic cleaner down the drain
Huh.
to keep the pipe clear.
Am I jumping in late on an HVAC call?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You thought this was Linux.
No. I wish I was here for the beginning.
Oh,
You know.
3 service calls, brand new system last year,
yeah.
and 3 service calls so far within the past month.
Wow.
Wow.
Last year with startup capacitor and startup capacitor and startup. Now, okay, and it was a 20-year-old system that I knew was past its prime. I had a new system put in September, October. Really didn't use it. And when we had the 3 days, 2 weeks ago, I guess,
Yeah.
the 3 hot days,
Yep.
fired up, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, it's pushing warm air. What the hell? Called up. I turned it off when it was just pumping warm air.
Yep.
I called them up. They came out. The guy checked it, everything, soup to nuts, boom, boom, boom. No, everything. Oh, on the outside of the unit upstairs, PVC piping is there are floats. That's part of New Jersey code now. There are 2 floats. Okay. This pipe is a little bit loose. So I tightened it up. Everything ran fine for a couple of days. Less than a week later, same damn thing happened. I called them up again, shut it down, and she says, well, maybe it's overheated. Turn it on in 3-4 hours, which I did. It came back on again. Okay, so I called them up. Look, it's up and running. No need to come out. The third time it happened, I did the same thing. Shut it down, came back up later on. I already had a service appointment called. These people are going to think that I'm nuts. They're coming out, they're checking it, they're writing up their report. The pressures are good, the intake pressure is good, refrigerant level is good. Okay, the bottom line from the last call, the guy put in it almost looks like a jumper box. It's a regular piece of equipment, electronic equipment, called a kickstart. And basically, he said, oh, yeah, this is it's a known problem with Bryant and Carrier. Why didn't you say anything 2 weeks ago? The thermal expansion valve.
Yeah.
The thermal expansion valve protects or meters the flow of refrigerant back to the compressor.
Mm-hmm.
It prevents liquid from getting into the compressor. No, it must be vaporized. And that wasn't working. As far as the two sensors go, one of the sensors, when it goes, one of the meter, the sensors flows or whatever, one of them shuts down the compressor, but the blower and everything still keeps running. The second one is a float on a drain pan, which is also code now. In the event you have condensate in the pan,
You always
goes
do.
and it shuts everything down.
Yeah.
But the way I was determining that, something that the compressor wasn't going, number one, it's blowing warm air. Number two, I go outside, and from the condenser unit, there was really no change in the discharge air from ambient air to over the condenser itself. And number three, the PVC drainage line that takes the drain line wasn't dripping at all. When it was running, there was a steady light stream of water.
Yeah.
But why in the hell would they have a service tech going out saying, "No, yeah, this is a common problem. I've come across it 3 times in the past week." You didn't say anything the first time you were out.
Was it the same tech each time?
Yes. And I think the technical term, I don't know HVAC that well. The technical term is you're an asshole. You couldn't even tell me. The other thing is, and I worked with refrigerants for, a dozen years with carbide. There's a brandy new refrigerant out this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he said, it could be, something with the refrigerant. I said, well, look, it's a brand new system. I have the 410A in it. Don't know that's a new one. Wait a minute. 410A? What's the last one? No. Earlier this year, apparently. 454B. And the way I'm remembering it is the old Chevy big blocks, 454s.
Yeah, okay.
454B is supposed to be more environmentally friendly. But, by the way, it introduces a flammability risk.
Ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
Oh, my God. You want to borrow Andy's little book of dirty words for this guy? My God.
Publish it. Be famous.
Yeah.
So right now, I've been going for 6 days now, I guess, with no problem with the air conditioning with this kickstart on it. But, it's the HVAC. And Drew, I was hearing my sister when you were talking about the air conditioning is on 365.
Yeah.
She was down in Largo, and when she was living by herself, she would turn it off in the morning, leaving for work, going over to Tampa, coming back, 11, 12 hours later, turning it on.
Oof.
And one of the guys talked to her, one of the guys that she had service in the unit, talked to her and said, you know what? It's a false economy. If you think you're saving money by leaving it off, because not only do you get the heat, you get the humidity. And it has to work that much longer and that much harder to get comfortable. You're not getting the benefit. So she went over to 365, and except when it got really, really cold.
Well,
you can lower it by a couple of degrees if you want to save money. Of course, the trade-off is that it takes a couple of hours to bring it back. But
what I do is if I'm going to be away from the house for a while, I'll turn it up a few degrees.
Yep.
And I have like a temperature. I have one of those digital thermostats that's from Ecobee, and it knows where I am in the house. I have a sensor in the bedroom and a sensor in the living room, so it knows where I am.
And it publishes through the internet. Nope.
And it adjusts the temperature to where I am in the house. And then if I leave the house, if I leave the house, it raises the temperature.
Nice.
I think I saw something online. Was that you walking out of your bathroom?
Yeah, we had a problem, and we have a Nest thermostat, and yeah, it knows when somebody's walking by it. And the thing is, our Nest thermostat is in a hallway that we do not usually walk through. And so the thermostat was turning the heat off because it didn't think anybody was home.
Right.
So we had to turn off that feature. I was
Sweet.
talking to Gabe Goldberg the other day, and he's down in Virginia, and he said they got a smart thermostat that somebody installed, right? Came with their system, and they basically just set it to keep the temperature the same year round, and if they need to adjust it, just manually turn it up and down. The smart thermostats are dumb.
Well, the reason that I got the model that I got was because it came with remote sensors that you put in other rooms that are connected to my Wi-Fi. So the thermostat can read the temperature in other rooms. So it knows whether I'm in the bed. If I go into the bedroom, it detects motion in the bedroom, just like your thermostat detects motion when you walk by the thermostat.
Yeah.
So if I go into whatever room I go into, it detects automatically that I'm in that room, and it adjusts the temperature accordingly.
Well, how does it adjust the temperature in the room? Do
What
your
happens
vents
is,
have
what it does is,
motors?
let's say, for example, the living room temperature, I set the temperature to 74. And in the living room, the temperature is 74. In the bedroom, the temperature might be 76. So if I leave the living room and I go into the bedroom, and it knows I'm in the bedroom, and it knows the temperature is 2 degrees warmer, it will turn the air conditioning up a little higher to get the bedroom down to 74.
Oh, so it does it to the whole house.
Yes. I only have one zone.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. It was like, how does that work with zones? Okay, so it adjusts the whole house so that you get the temperature in the room that you're in for 3 minutes.
Yes. Well, not 3 minutes, but overnight when I'm sleeping.
Well, except
Yeah.
for generally typical temperature change is about 1 degree per hour if your system is set up correctly, more or less. Or at least in that order.
I think, Drew, I think the sensor is really on you. So you're going to go out and you're going to get in your car. Car's going to be 100 degrees. And if you turn around and forgot something in the house, you're going to go back in and you're going to see icicles all over the place because the air conditioning.
Think we lost Andy's audio, or I lost everyone's audio.
No,
No, I'm here, and I hear you.
You're
All right.
there, all of you.
yeah.
Everybody was just waiting for Andy with bated breath.
Yeah, off the soapbox. Hey, are we going to talk about any of the Linux crap, or
Yeah,
is this an
yeah.
You know,
back on?
it'll still be there even after the AC season. Hey, Richard, how is your heating doing?
It's very cool, 14 Celsius here, but what's that, about 58 Fahrenheit?
Oh, okay. So you're
I've
not
got
very
the
concerned with
reverse cycle on heating me up a bit.
Nice.
at least you're not very concerned with the heating.
Not right now. Give him
Not
6
yet.
months.
Yeah. Well, 6 months it'll be
Yeah.
nice and warm there.
So
Yeah. So summer it might get up to about 45 Celsius, so at 110 Fahrenheit.
Do I remember correctly? You were in Brisbane?
No, Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it says on his screen there, Melbourne
Melbourne
PC Club.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're overestimating my attention span.
Yeah. So The only thing that I change on my thermostat is if in the wintertime it gets really cold, I'll change it to heating and turn the heat on for a couple of days. But
Yeah. Doesn't usually get that cold, although you do get snow sometimes, don't you?
yeah, I've had to turn the heat on a few times.
Now,
Yeah.
before all of you joined, Drew was saying he got a new customer that he installed some Linux systems and had some interesting things.
Well, what happened is I normally use Linux Mint.
Okay.
And I installed for this woman, I upgraded one of her computers from Windows 10 to Linux Ubuntu. And when I did a test page in LibreOffice, it threw out a page size error into her printer.
It threw out
And
what?
Page size
a
error.
page size error. And if you clear the error out of the printer, it prints. And it turns out that, and I had
When you're talking about page size, is that a computer memory page or a printer paper page?
Paper page.
a paper page.
It sounds like.
What happens is when you install Linux Mint,
Yeah.
it sets in LibreOffice, it installs LibreOffice automatically, and the paper size is letter 8.5 by 10, exactly 8.5 inches by 10 inches.
8.5 by 10. That's not letter.
Well, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by
Yeah.
11.
8.5
okay.
by 11. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it doesn't set it to US paper. So I mean, to European paper sizes.
No,
It might have.
but what
Like
happens
A4?
is Ubuntu uses A4.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a Mint machine here and I have an Ubuntu machine here.
Oh,
Ubuntu defaults to A4 and Mint defaults to letter.
got it.
Okay.
And so I had to go back over to this woman's house and reset her default page size or paper size.
Paper size. Okay. It's
You don't install remote access tools for systems that you support?
It's in there now.
Yeah. I definitely try to provide myself with remote access to systems that I need to support.
Well,
Saves on driving.
It all depends on the customer. I
Sure.
want to do it. She was hesitant to let me do it because she was afraid someone was going to get into her computer.
Yep.
And then after I had to go back to her house once to fix the computer, she agreed to let me install the remote desktop software.
What do you use?
That was my question.
I use a program called Rustdesk.
Okay. You mentioned that before. I had trouble with that. Like it plain vanilla refused to do anything useful or provide any kind of troubleshooting steps.
I have pretty good luck with it. I have it on all my machines here. I even showed her how I could control her computer with my cell phone.
Yeah, I can understand that you would do that.
For occasional troubleshooting and occasional remote access, I use TeamViewer. It seems to do fairly well, and they won't hassle you if you don't do it too much.
Yes, they only hassle you if you overuse it.
Yep.
I've been using Anydesk.
Anydesk is good. I find that Anydesk, you have to manually set it up for unattended access. In Rustdesk, when you install the Debian package, whatever the default install is, it just works. So I leave it alone.
Most of the time, folks need help on their desktop, so it's not unattended access is good for doing system things, but for user desktop issues, seems to me over 70% of the time, that's something that folks need help with because they don't know how to do fairly simple, straightforward things. So,
even getting this woman some of my customers to activate, if I don't set it up for unattended, they don't know how to get the remote access software loaded so that I can get in.
Yeah.
My usual process is get on the phone with them, you start the program, tell me the access code, and you'll get a pop-up that says, "Hey, do you want to allow blah to access your computer?"
Yep.
That way they feel confident that nobody else is accessing it. At least
Yeah.
I feel that that's a feature in its own right.
And
Is that
Rustdesk uses that same format. They have a code
Mhm.
and a randomly changing password that changes every time you run the program.
Well, with all due respect, I'll give a nod to Microsoft on their assistant. It's
Yep.
It's the simplest. It's ubiquitous. Every Windows machine has it. Go over here, type this in. It pops up. What's the code? You have somebody on the phone. No install, nothing. It's
because it's already built into Windows.
Yeah.
if it's Windows to Windows, that's in my book, that's the simplest thing. It'd be nice to see Linux incorporate, somebody do an open source project comparable to that, where it's just as simple, where it's included in there. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
has anybody tried using Copilot or ChatGPT to ask, I've got this problem in my Linux Mint computer. What should I do? Has anybody tried it?
Oh, I do that all the time.
And do you get a good answer right away?
Almost always, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used Copilot or any of these things for writing letters or emails or summarizing things yet, but I've used it to ask questions like, how do you do something? Like I saw my wife playing Scrabble, and so I thought, gee, I wonder if I could use my smartphone to get the best next word. So I asked Copilot, how would I use my iPhone to give you first? Tell me how I should give you the board the way it is and my letters, and you'll tell me the answer. And so it gave me a whole script of what to do, whether I wanted to do it with Swift or with Python, and how to take a picture and what format to use in JSON. And Sujits, that's the way you do things too, isn't it? It's for coding.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
here's
using the camera.
Here's a perfect example of that very scenario. Is I was at this woman's house and she wanted notifications from X. So when somebody sent out a message or tweeted something, she would get a pop-up notification in the browser, and it wasn't working right. And I used ChatGPT quietly, whispering into my phone, so that she didn't know what I was doing, and got the answer to the question, and then fixed it. So that I didn't look like an idiot.
That's called transparency, Drew.
Yeah. So I think, Andy,
so all you need,
somebody could write something, but it's there already.
John.
Yeah.
So all you need is about 6 copies of this thing with a little bit of code that talks to ChatGPT, and they can just play Scrabble without you against each other.
Right. Well, actually, that was one of the very first Unix problems that my supervisor at Bell Labs showed us. He had 2 Unix chess games playing against one another, and he showed us how to set up the 2 sets of pipes.
There you go.
How to do that.
Yeah. Any of you who have an Android phone, in the Google Play App Store is a Wordle solver. I belong to a group out in the Midwest somewhere. I forget. It's they start off their weekly meetings with a Wordle in the New York Times, and I always solve the Wordle for them, and they think I'm really smart, but I'm really using the app on my phone.
We won't
Talking
think
to-
you're smart anymore, Drew. I thought you were smart all along.
Talking about the remote desktop for Linux, I think the last meeting, I was trying to connect to my Raspberry Pi, which
Right,
I
yeah.
guess is a form of Linux, and that has something called Raspberry Pi Connect. I think it's kind of built into the operating system, and so anyone who has the password and if it's enabled can connect in. So that's a good example of something that's sort of baked into the OS. I don't know if something equivalent in the other Linux distros out there, or whether you could use that for anything other than a Raspberry Pi OS. I don't even know.
Now, is that so? I'm assuming that that's a terminal window only remote control,
No, full desktop.
full desktop.
Yeah. I had demoed it what was I showing? It was showing something about the Raspberry Pi code that I had written.
Your temperature sensors, I think
The
it was.
temperature sensor, exactly.
Yeah.
Humidity sensor. Yeah. So I had remoted it from my machine here so I could share it with you guys. But the Raspberry Pi is there. And so I just did Raspberry Pi Connect, and it just worked. So and you do it from any browser. There's a browser you go to, and you just say you put in the name of the machine, and if you have the password and it's enabled, you can go in.
So now, shouldn't that be portable to any other version of Linux then? Raspberry
imagine-
Pi is running Linux.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's like, it
Shall
should.
I ask ChatGPT right now how to do that?
You could. I mean, it's
Yeah.
an ARM version of Linux, I suppose. So that there may be some restriction there. I don't know if they have it available in all the architectures, but for sure.
Let's go ahead and ask that question so we get that answer quick.
I usually look at two websites that give away free software. And I just check them every day to see if they're giving away something that I might like or is a later version of something I already got. And lately, there's been nothing of any value, nothing of any interest to me on either site. And I think it's horrendous. I think it's horrendous in the sense that so much stuff is out there available for free, whether it's on Windows or something else, and you can do so many things without having to get some special software. And it's available at a reasonable cost if you have to pay for it, and you get support. So it's really pretty amazing, whether it's Linux or Windows. I think it's fascinating to me.
So, John, did you write a program to go out to those sites or tell ChatGPT or something like that to go out to those sites and summarize them for you to see if they have anything interesting?
Well, they have an option to have it send you an email every
I
day,
see.
so you can get that. But
then they just want to spam you.
One of the hundreds of tabs that I have open on my desktop all the time. I just click on that in the morning, look, see what it is, update. And so I don't need to automate that.
But that's a good point, though, about using something like ChatGPT or Copilot to get answers to Linux. I would imagine Linux has been around longer than any other operating system, so there should be more stuff out there on the internet for Linux.
Right.
And therefore, it should be smarter about Linux answers than anything else. Is that a fair assumption?
Yes.
I think that's true.
But there's probably less volume for Linux lore out there than there is for Windows lore, right? Just because of the size of the audience.
Yeah, but I was thinking
there
of
are
the
better
old,
answers.
yeah, the message boards and all that. I don't know if it collects all of that stuff. I mean, that's like, I don't know how many millions of text lines of text are there, but there must be a lot.
Yeah, but a lot of the answers are like, does Reddit let the ChatGPT and those guys read its stuff? A lot of answers are in Stack Overflow or Reddit, and they may block, but there are other open sites.
Forums,
Ask Ubuntu, or is that one of them? So I think that there are plenty of good answers for Linux, and you can just try Copilot and ChatGPT.
Well, we should try it. I mean, maybe we can try it on this remote
I
desktop.
find that very
issue.
often AI-based answers to Linux-related questions are pretty low quality.
I wonder why, though. I was trying to get a feel for it. I've used it from time to time for Linux, and it seems
It may be that I'm just asking ugly
like the
questions.
popular Linux distros, I would say, like Ubuntu and all. There's plenty of stuff out there. But I guess if you try some Zorro or something like that, or Zorin, whatever the name is, it might be more difficult to find material for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got a problem on Linux Mint desktop that I've had for quite a while that I still haven't figured out.
Well, what is it? Let's hear it. Let's see if we can crack this.
My desktop does not go to sleep.
Your Mint desktop doesn't go to sleep?
Yep. Not when I have X screensaver running. If I turn off all the screensavers, it goes to sleep. But even when I turn them on, I can put the machine to sleep manually, so there's no problem with something blocking sleep explicitly. But for some reason, it appears that the timer does not go off.
Huh. Raspberry Pi comes with real VNC as its remote access program.
There are 3 different options that I see for Pi. Looks like it's got one of its own, and then they recommend SSH with X forwarding and then VNC.
Yeah, well, VNC would be built in probably.
Well, I mean, VNC is just a common program, common remote desktop server.
Yeah.
VNC is fairly inefficient in terms of transfer speed. So you're not going to get a very responsive desktop, but it's okay, especially if you have a decent link.
Yep. No Machine is another one that I like to use.
No Machine's good. It's definitely more efficient than VNC, but it's proprietary protocol.
Why do you still use a screensaver, Sergey?
Why do I still use a screensaver? If you haven't seen Electric Sheep, it's pretty spectacular. I walk over to my computer, and when the screensaver is running, it is a piece of art 90% of the time.
So it's because it gives you something pretty when you're not using the machine.
Yep. Other than that, no, I don't have a good reason.
You could take a picture of it, put it up on your wall, and you'd have it all the time, and your desktop would go to sleep.
No. This one crowdsourced generates images that are changing all the time.
What's the name of it?
Look up Electric Sheep. You can get it for Windows.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Can I share my desktop? I'm being blocked for that.
They don't like you, Sergey.
I know, I can see
Bill,
that.
Chris?
Bill just said that he was stepping away for a few minutes.
Yeah, we need to.
All right, we'll wait for him.
Oh, nobody can share without him?
That's we've had some incidents of people dropping in uninvited, and
no, that's the way that we've got the workshop set up.
Yeah,
for sharing that
but
host
is there
has
a particular reason?
I
mean, we don't have people being abusive in
the
workshop.
It's just the default. It's possible that Bill could set that up for the Linux workshop alone, that each workshop leader can set it up for their workshop. But
I can share now.
You're able to share? Let's see. I'm looking to see.
Yeah, I just stepped away. I came back, so yeah.
We know where you went. You don't have to tell us.
I know.
We needed to make Sujit able to share.
There you go.
There he is.
Okay. What are we looking at here? Okay, yeah, we're starting to solve this problem. Okay. Yep.
known quirk in Linux Mint.
X screensaver takes control and overrides Mint's power settings.
Only screen blinking and locking.
Okay.
Oh, and the solution
to
is
it-
to get rid of the screensaver.
Yeah, nice.
I like that number one there, disable X screensaver. Mom, it hurts when I do this. Don't do that.
Yeah, yes, exactly that.
I love it.
That's not exactly a workaround.
Nope.
Oh,
But when I
disable
configure
Mint's
X
power
screensaver to just blank the screen, that my system still does not sleep.
Hmm.
Dude,
Only
just
when I
try.
turn it off completely does the system go to sleep.
Okay.
Well, now,
Try
what about the
screen-
third one? Can you
Stop.
use electric sheep with a different screensaver?
Don't know. X screensaver is what they recommend. I don't know the screensaver protocol well enough. I'm sure it's possible theoretically, but the way it's written is it's written to be managed by X screensaver.
Oh.
It's
What about using the Cinnamon screensaver?
have you seen Cinnamon screensavers? They suck. They're not useful.
Let me write that down, another technical term.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't done screensavers in years.
Yep.
And the last one looks, I have had that problem with the last one with the wake triggers on my laptop, at least, but I don't know about desktops. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. So far I haven't been able to come up with anything constructive. I am almost reduced to downloading the code and building the debug versions and trying to debug it myself.
I was going to say it's all open source, right?
Yep.
Well, actually, it's a good point, Sergey. Have you tried, normally the Linux code will write out to syslog or something like that, right? There's nothing in there, or what's the
I have not.
what's the daemon logger systemd?
CSD power is the Mint's or Cinnamon's agent that does power management, and I have not seen anything useful that you can get it to do so far. To be fair, I haven't dived into it very deeply yet.
What about the actual screensaver? Is that installed as a daemon?
The screensaver runs as a daemon and it starts the screensaver and locks the screen and all that kind of good stuff.
So it should have a log, right? That normally they have like a predefined.
But it has nothing to do with the screensaver has nothing to do with putting the system to sleep. The system goes to sleep completely separately from the screensaver. So I can literally manually start the screensaver, put a process in the background that will suspend the system in let's say 2 minutes, and that works fine.
Okay.
And so there's nothing appears to be blocking sleep, but for some reason that action does not appear to be getting invoked. I saw at least one post this morning. Somebody said that when they reduced the sleep timeout from 2 hours to 1 hour, they started working. Did not start working for me today.
You need some Xanax.
So yeah, it's not a huge problem. Obviously.
No, it's an annoyance. I mean,
yeah, it's a slight annoyance.
We're all using our systems, and we
I-
have
it's-
annoyances.
I love my system. I love for it to generate new electric sheep images overnight, but there's not much point in it when I'm sleeping.
Can you put the electric sheep screensaver in a virtual machine and run that so that it's not the same machine?
I could, but why would I have the virtual machine desktop up?
So that you
so
can
that
see.
you could see the electric sheep. And then when your regular machine goes to sleep,
Yeah, John's got a workaround for you. You run
That
this.
sounds that sounds like a
That's a
long workaround.
It's
Well,
the
my first
workaround.
workaround was
The
to
cure
put a,
may be a little bit too intense. I mean, you can cure a headache with a bazooka.
But you can try.
But it would work though. It would work.
Right.
only I just want to step away from the machine. Well, I do end up stepping away from the machine and I forget to put it to sleep. That's the current pattern.
Okay.
Is that I find myself often enough, I just need to run off and then I'll walk away. And I expect it to lock itself and I expect it to put itself to sleep sometime about an hour or two later. And it does the first, but not the second.
you're one of these people who doesn't have anybody else in your house, right?
That is true most of the time.
So are you protecting your machine by having it go to sleep?
No, not at all. I'm just not having it choose cycles 24/7 without a need. I can wake it up remotely. As a matter of fact, I do have it set up to where when I travel, I do connect to it regularly and wake it up remotely.
John, I think he's just into sheep.
That's what
I mean,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
my complaint was that there were no good new free software. And yes, there's lots of good stuff out on GitHub that I find every once in a while. And I go maybe pick that up. I picked up a few things from GitHub that I said, oh, I wish I knew how to do this, or how do you do this, or I trip over it somewhere. But we generally don't seem to have major problems right now. The world has enough problems that we're maybe not paying attention to the little annoyances quite as much. It's like, oh,
You
it's
mean
too hot to
non-Linux
be
related
upset about
problems
that.
like AC?
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
If my AC went out, I would know about it. My wife would not tolerate it.
Well, here's a big problem that Ukraine has. Trump just approved the release of 10 Patriot missiles for Ukraine, and Russia fired 500 drones at them yesterday.
Yep.
So what are 10 Patriot missiles going to do?
They're gonna shoot them at Russia.
No, the Patriot missiles are strictly a defense weapon, but they are effective against ballistic missiles. Drones are not their target. Those drones cost much orders of magnitude less than those Patriot than the ammo for those Patriot missiles.
Soapbox time. Without taking a position, my vote is to stay the hell away from anything to do with politics on a workshop like this.
Yeah.
It can be very divisive, and it can certainly be very upsetting to some people.
Yeah.
So,
upsetting, yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Very.
We're all aware of the news if we're interested, or we stay the hell away from it if we're not. But it can be very divisive, and it can elicit a lot of emotions. So, I never would have even jumped on if this was going to be a rehash of Fox versus CNN versus MSNBC, versus,
Nope.
That kind of conversation you definitely want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you.
Moving on. By the way, folks, I noticed that Bob Pentecost has joined recently, and Bob,
I don't
say
believe
hello.
I've seen Bob before in this workshop. Have I? Have we?
I don't. Yeah. Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he might have hopped off.
Well, no, he's still here. He's just.
Oh,
He's
he is?
muted.
He's all muted.
He's muted.
Bob, can you say a couple words?
I got a Linux thing to throw out there.
Go.
On DistroWatch, I was on there. I'm not on it every day. I'm not on it regularly. But on DistroWatch, one of the questions, in the middle of the page there, was, what is the worst Linux distro? Everybody writes in about the best Linux distro. And so they, there was a little discussion about it and the rest of it. And then in my poking around, I was looking at, it'd say some of the security things. Be careful what you're clicking on.
Yep.
There are 2 Linux distros out there, both listed on DistroWatch. There is a Porto or Port, whatever the hell it is. I guess it's pronounced Porto, Porteux. I'll put the links in the chat. And then there's also the Porteus. You talk about being confused. What the hell is the difference? And how do you decide what is the, what's...
Which one to not get?
Yeah. Hang on.
Either.
I'll put the other one out there. I've seen Bill Chris fired up Porteus on DistroC the one night, and we looked at that. And that, when you run it from a flash drive, it's kind of cool because it gives you the option to load to RAM. And certainly on an older or a slower machine, it's blazingly fast because it's running from RAM. But the other one, the Porto, like, what the hell is this? And it's based on Slackware. So, there's all kinds of stuff out there that you can use, you can look at. But, again, you have to be a little bit careful about what you're clicking on, because take a look at those names, the last part of the link in the chat.
Yeah.
I think that can be a little bit confusing.
Porteus.
Yeah, Porteus versus PorteuX. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just pulled up DistroWatch and it says that PorteuX is based on Porteus.
There's a couple
So,
of
and they
reviews
say
on it.
they're the worst.
Apparently they're
So
well,
we shouldn't try them today.
No.
Porteus is release 5.0 and 5.1 is in alpha. And it's rated, looks like 8. I see 8.11 out of 10 on DistroWatch, which seems people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it looks like a nice KDE desktop, pretty, nothing obnoxious. Oh, I see. It has additions for Cinnamon, GNOME, KDE, Mate, XFCE. It has stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Porteus has a regular website. Porto, I guess, PorteuX, is their homepage is on GitHub.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting that they're asking about, everybody's always looking for the best best distro, best app, best utility to do X, Y, or Z. And the question started off with, okay, what's the worst? And the guy that handles the Q&A there, I thought was very, very professional and diplomatic, because he basically was saying, he's not going to trash anybody because it's yes, there could be something nefarious out there or whatever, but basically it's anybody can put together whatever they want. And, like in programming, some people are very good, some people aren't quite as good, but they're trying. And it was, he said, basically, I don't want to take anything away from somebody that's kind of trying to do something, which I thought was a very neat reply. This was
with all of these distros out there, right? And there's, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of them, I suppose. How do you know that a particular distro doesn't have like some sort of a malware, like a program that's not it's sort of hidden in the package, right? And it's doing stuff that it's not supposed to do. Like, how do you know that?
Well, when
Many
you
of the
download a distro, it comes with MD5 in the past, or typically SHA-1 signatures. So you can verify very explicitly that you're getting what they intended to distribute.
Oh no, what I meant is that they intended to
So,
put it in there.
So the next
right?
question is, do you trust the packager of the
Correct.
distro,
Correct.
right?
Nugent,
And
my poking around, best distro, best for beginners, best for Windows, yada. The overwhelming majority of authors state that is the main reason to stick with the major distributions.
Yeah.
If you stick with Ubuntu and Linux Mint and Fedora and whatever, because it's not an individual, it's a company, it's a large group that's putting it together. It's not script kiddies. They've been
Right.
doing it for a while. They know what they're doing. And if there's a problem, you're going to have a whole army of people looking in to fix that problem. It's not like somebody going out there, putting their own distro together, and if there's a problem, okay, fine. Well, I'm working my regular job Monday through Friday, so maybe I'll get to it Saturday afternoon. Outside of the fact that, yeah, there could really be somebody with a nefarious intention on their distro. So,
Yeah.
there are a number of articles about that.
There's also
Yeah.
places like North Korea produces distros too.
Yeah.
consider the source.
I didn't want to mention any countries or anything like that, but that's sort of where I was going. How do you know?
Well, nowadays, that's happening with almost everything. How do you know that the bank that you thought you were trusting hasn't been taken over by somebody else? People take over things all the time. It's where the money goes. So
Yeah, I guess I was wondering, like, are you supposed to, do all the distro makers, do they publish their manifest or whatever it is, right, that makes up the distro on a GitHub repo somewhere, and the releases are all built on GitHub, and you can see, okay, this is what went into the distro, right? As opposed to here's a zip file and download it and hope for the best.
I would expect that almost every Linux distro you can build from scratch. Would you agree with that, Sergey?
I am pretty sure that you can.
You can build it yourself, and you can read the code.
Bill, Chris, didn't you do Linux from scratch a couple of years ago?
Would you believe it was 2008 when I did that?
There are versions of Linux where you compile every single bit of code that runs.
Oh, yeah.
Gen 2.
Linux from scratch is one of them. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that might be the way to go. At least
so-
at least get the base install there, and then you can kind of install the packages you want.
Sure.
Once you get the base, I guess the command line version up and running.
Yep.
So is your threat scenario that somebody injects something into the distro? Or is your threat scenario...
It could be like a package that's kind of surreptitiously put in there, right? That you don't really pay attention to, and that's now, I don't know, monitoring your hard disk or kind of watching your network or and reporting home or something like that.
Well, but is this an attack on the distro packager?
I'm thinking like it's an actual rogue packager out there, who's trying to, like, exactly like what Andy was just saying, or whoever would say, like, familiar sounding distro with a little X at the end.
Don't go to a North Korean website and download a distro. Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be like, it might sound like a legit website.
I'm thinking in my mind, are we thinking
something like that?
Are we thinking Fedora and Mint and
it could be
somebody
Fedora
like that?
with an X at the end, and nobody pays attention. Next thing you know, you're installing Fedora. What do you think is Fedora, but it's not, right?
Well, I mean, there are certainly sites out there will spoof your bank's website as well, right? That's how phishing is done.
That's exactly right.
So due diligence is pretty much, you kind of got to watch where you step,
Yeah.
right? And it's actually interesting how many of those were around. Just like seems like 6-8 months ago. I've been getting much fewer recently of phishing type attacks in my email. Maybe Google Gmail's filters are getting better. That could be one possibility.
Yeah, they're applying artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Do most of you use Firefox on Linux?
I don't. I use Brave.
I use Chromium.
I use Firefox, but I also use Brave and Chrome.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, about handy things. I've been doing a whole bunch of genealogy lately, and sometimes I'm looking at photos or obituaries, and the obituary is not in HTML. It's someplace else. Somebody posted a picture of the obituary. And I'm using an extension to Firefox that does OCR, and it is terrific. Any text on your screen
in your browser
in Firefox. I mean, there's another one that I use for Windows that'll take text from anywhere, but this one in Firefox really does a good job of optical character recognition. Best of any of the optical character recognition stuff that I use on Windows, and you can use it on Linux because it's just a Firefox extension.
I'd be skeptical that it's exclusive to Firefox. You're going to tell us what its name is?
Yeah, I'm going up to look at it again now. Where is that guy again?
Generally, high demand or high use things tend to travel and have versions of extensions for multiple browsers.
It's called OCR-Image Reader. And I got it from managing extensions in Firefox. So you can find it in there.
There's one in the Chrome web store.
Yeah, this one scans the text that you select on the screen, and then it processes it, and it gives you a place at the bottom where there's a little window and you can copy the text. And I've just found that it is miraculous.
What is the name of it again?
OCR-Image Reader.
Yeah. It's available for Chrome.
OCR Image Reader.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I've been using, and it's really good.
I just posted the link to the Chrome extension.
Oh, thank you.
I had the name. Between the two of us, we'll get there, sir, okay?
Yeah, it looks exactly the same as the Firefox add-on. So now the question is it sending your images for OCR to a server? I bet it is.
Well, that's possible. I'm
The other
not.
question now was.
It says it uses Tesseract.
Yeah, the thing is, I use Tesseract from the command line in Linux, and this is better somehow. Somehow they've done something to make it better than I could obviously use Tesseract, but with Tesseract,
interesting.
So I wanted to just share one thing again. I said, let me ask about this. Oh, sorry.
So you can use that extension to extract text from an image?
Yes. And the place where I use it that I've used it lately is when I have a like if I go on ancestry.com and somebody has posted an image, a photo of an obituary. Well, I can't just grab the text from that obituary like I could if I was getting it on an HTML page, because it's a picture. But this OCR will select that and copy it.
So apparently this uses a library called tesseract.js, and it's re-implementation of Tesseract in pure JavaScript. Claims support of over 100 languages as well.
Yeah, that's what I got from Copilot as well. It said it asked specifically about OCR image reader. It says Tesseract, Easy OCR, TR OCR, which is by Microsoft, and Paddle OCR. Those are the four that it uses.
It's on GitHub.
Yeah.
Hey, John, do you remember the name of that extension that you use? I think on Windows it's a Control A to activate it, but it will basically copy any text from an on-screen message.
The Windows one.
That's snip.
I use it all the time after you mention it.
You mean snipping?
Control Shift S.
No.
But that's that's the snipping tool.
Right, no, it's a control. It's a control space, I think it is.
OCR reader. Oh, let's look in my here.
Without server iteration.
Yeah, it's all in the code.
Wow. Without copying images. That's
Oh, is it in PowerToys?
So
PowerToys has an OCR app. Windows has a built-in OCR app in Windows 11. The snipping tool can OCR text.
one limitation, Tesseract.js does not support PDF files.
Oh, if you hand Tesseract a PDF, no, it doesn't handle that.
Well, I don't know about Tesseract. I'm talking about the JavaScript implementation. But they actually have an example of converting PDF to text.
Well, I just use
I
Word.
wonder what they do.
Word will convert PDFs to document to doc.
Yeah, I mean, you can render PDF to an image and then do text on it.
Yes. In fact, that's one of the places where you need to do it, because it's not a PDF as much as that it's an image.
Right. There is a demo on the GitHub site for Tesseract.js where they convert a PDF file, and they use a library called pdf.js to render it to an image and then run the Tesseract on the image.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It works.
Straightforward.
Digressing to the question about the browsers, does anybody use more than 4 browsers? Or I apparently have a reason to have 4 or 5 browsers on my system, and I use each of them. Different reasons. I have Firefox mainly because they have their multi-container feature. None of the other browsers have it. Google, part of the searching and the add-ons, whatever, for a search engine, it's kind of ubiquitous. Brave,
you can use Google search engine from Firefox.
Yes, I know you can, but it's just cleaner. It seems a little bit quicker. Google browser by itself seems quicker.
What is the Google browser? Isn't Chrome the Google browser?
Chrome, the Chrome browser. For just normal, everyday, for the performance without the crap, I use Brave and DuckDuckGo as a search engine.
Mhm.
And I have the Edge browser installed and this is all on Linux. I have the Edge browser installed because I like the way it integrates with Copilot and some of the other AI engines.
Mhm.
So I use each of them for different things. There's also, depending on the sites you hit, it could be rendered differently on the different browsers. With the pop-ups
Right.
and the uBlock it, whatever, I can go to one site where I can't see anything. Another site will show me part of it. Another site shows me all of it. So if I have the multiple browsers, if I run into a problem with one, I just copy the URL and go to a different browser and see if it's consistent among all of them.
Yeah, we have reasons. I use two. I have on Windows, I have Edge as the default browser because of how many. I don't want to load up Firefox as my default browser, but I use Firefox as my normal browser. But when some other program opens something, I don't want it opening in Firefox where I've got so many windows open anyway. So I let it open up in Chrome because that's the lowest overhead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, there's a reason for it. It's not just how many browsers can I put on. There is a reason. Now, that being said, with the browsers, one of the extensions that I put on certainly most, if not all of them, is print friendly.
Is what?
And with print friendly,
French?
it lets you go and look at an article online, and it strips out all the crap. So, for example, I'm sure you've had the experience where you go to a web page, you want to create a PDF or print a hard copy of the page, and it looks like it's 2 pages. And when you do the print preview, it comes up and it's 10 pages because you have 8 pages of graphics and advertising and all the rest of the crap. Go in there, into the article, into the text, right mouse, print friendly, and it lets you delete all the crap you don't want and then create a PDF. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I use Print Edit WE, which means Web Edition, Print Edit WE in Firefox and Edge to do that. And it allows you to select the area that you want to include or exclude. I used to just clip things to OneNote, but Firefox doesn't support OneNote anymore, and that's another reason why I have to go over to Edge if I want to clip something to OneNote directly. But Print Edit WE is available on both of those, Edge and Firefox, and it allows you to tailor that, and then you can save the result as either a PDF or an HTML. And if you save it as HTML, then you can go in and save it and open it in Word or LibreOffice and edit the stuff and make it look however you want. But Print Edit WE is another one that works great.
This sounds like it might be a useful and interesting topic for the general workshop, no?
Print
The
Edit
general
WE.
workshop, yeah. Well, I did a workshop on the extensions that I use, and I noted which ones were available for multiple browsers. And that video is posted. You should be able to get to it by looking at past speakers.
Awesome, thanks. So in response to your question, Andy, I do use, in addition to Brave, which is my default browser for personal use, I use multiple profiles for work relationships in Chrome.
Okay.
They're in Chrome just because they've been in Chrome for years.
Right.
right? But I definitely use different profiles for different worlds that I work in.
I've used Edge even on the Raspberry Pi desktop, and it works pretty good. That's what I use to access GitHub on the Raspberry Pi desktop. It has the extension support and everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I pick one browser historically. It's been Firefox that I really lock down with no script and the ad blockers and other things like that to make sure nothing, as I'm just browsing the web. I have to take a while to train it to which websites I like, so it keeps them open, but it does certainly block the unexpected weirdo that I don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
thanks, Andy, for those extensions. They're in chat.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
As we were talking, I threw them out there. They're it's neat to look at. You mentioned I use it. John, you mentioned Ancestry. If I come across an obituary, I want to send it off to someone. It's not mine. I use Print Friendly almost exclusively because it gets rid of all the crap. I don't, if all I want to do is send off an obituary, especially if it's something that happened in the past, if the service is past, you don't need all the, all the memorials and I don't mean any disrespect. You don't need all the details, all the gory details, the memorials, send flowers, buy this, buy the book.
Right.
You don't need all. So you can go in there and you can selectively delete anything you don't want, anything you don't want to include.
Yeah,
Hyperlink, anything like that.
Yeah, I can use the OCR for that to just grab the text I want.
Well, but that one, stuff is usually, the obituary text is usually HTML. You can just select it and copy it and paste it in an email. And then you can select the picture and copy the image and paste that in the email. You don't need to do any OCR or anything like that usually. The problem that I encountered was somebody had posted a picture of an obituary, and they didn't include the newspaper reference. So I couldn't go look it up and get the actual web page that it came from. But I also have a subscription to newspapers.com, and they just show you a picture of the newspaper. So you can't select the text. You could take a picture of it with snipping tool, but that's of no value. I want the text. So that's where I use the OCR image reader to select the text that's in the picture of the newspaper. That's where it's handy. While I'm at it, I'll tell you, you would not believe what you can find out about people if you are persistent in following information from Facebook, obituaries, indexes, as well as on newspapers.com and ancestry.com and MyHeritage and Family Search. There's more information about your ancestors and you in there than you would believe.
With one qualifier, John. Only believe half of what you see and nothing of what you read.
Oh, yeah. The obituaries were written by somebody that thinks they know something.
Yeah.
And they usually have a lot of it wrong.
Yeah, the ancestry organizations like Sons of the American Revolution and Daughters of the American Revolution, the Mayflower descendants and stuff like that, they have strict rules about what you got to do, what you got to prove in original text to
Ancestry does not care. You can post anything in your family tree.
Correct.
And let me tell you, people just throw anything in there that they think sounds like the same person.
Yep.
No, I don't post anything that I don't have a official reference.
Yeah, no, you have to have, birth certificate, proof of birth, proof of death, proof of marriage, or proof of something else. You have to have three out of four of something. And this is not just what you found on the internet. It's got to be a classic document.
Oh, if anybody is interested in voice, is anyone here interested in voice dictation? Like being able to use your voice to dictate text into your computer?
I occasionally have an interest.
There is, if you use the Google Chrome browser, as long as we're talking about browsers, it only works in Google Chrome. Doesn't work in Brave, doesn't work in Firefox. There's an extension called Voice In. And Voice In works in Chrome, and it works on Linux and Windows. And it puts a little microphone at the top of the browser page. And if let's say you're on chatting with tech support, or whatever, if you're in email, if you're in Gmail, whatever, you can click on the little microphone and just talk, and it will convert your voice into text.
But that almost always requires a web service because the Whisper model that is used for that is pretty large. There's no chance of it running on your.
Oh yeah, it's definitely cloud-based. It's definitely cloud-based.
Yeah. But they use the Whisper model is the one that's used for that, and I've run it on my gaming PC locally. That's how it used to transcribe some of the podcast recordings, right, from audio to text. It just takes a while. Even a single file would take a while running locally, so it has to be done remotely. It has to be done through service if they want that quick response.
Yeah, I've been into dictation for many, many years, and I used to use a program called Dragon Naturally Speaking. And now I use a program that's a voice recognition through Google Chrome, and I pay the developer, I think $2 a month to have it work in Windows. So he wrote a program, an extension that works in a browser. And for an additional $2 a month, you get a Windows app that links to the browser so that you can dictate into any Windows app. And you can have custom words and custom phrases.
And that's for Linux.
That works on that particular product works. It's called Voice Dictation Anywhere, and it works on Windows only. And Dictanote.co is the source for voice. And yes, I subscribe to Dictanote.
Yeah, it looks like that's available for Firefox also. I just looked it up.
Is it? Maybe that would
I
be
would
new.
be surprised if it didn't work in Brave, to be honest.
Unless it's changed.
mean,
I've tried it in Brave. I've tried it. It's the Voice In and Dictanote extensions are not in the Firefox web store. And if you try and run Voice In Brave, it will give you an error.
interesting. How recently?
As of a few months ago.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
good to know.
Worth looking for.
That's the only reason that I put Google Chrome on Linux, is so I can dictate. I pay I think a few dollars a month for Dictanote as well. I use Dictanote. I pay about $6 a month total between the two programs, and that covers my voice dictation needs.
If I can share my screen, give you a little taste of this, that print friendly. Okay, let's see.
I made you a co-host. There you
Okay,
go.
should see
Yep.
something coming through. Yeah, you got it?
Yes,
There it is. Yep, yep.
Robert McLeod.
Okay. Yes, I just went to Flagler. It's a
Yep.
local funeral home.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it gives the whole blurb down here with the,
yep.
yada yada. This is in, I don't know what browser am I in now. I don't even know what browser I'm in. Oh, this is Chrome.
You're in Chrome.
Okay. In Chrome, if you hit the print on this site, it wants to save the file.
Yep,
It'll just save it. Okay?
yep.
If you do a print, again, where do you, didn't even prompt me for where do you want to print it to? Okay. That's in Chrome. In
Okay.
Edge, the same thing.
Yep,
If I do a print,
yep. What's it do?
you have the choice. You can open it in Edge, and it opens up a new tab,
Yep,
and there you go. But here it's a 3-pager.
yep.
Now, if I go back to this, here's the read more. I'm just in the text here. Right mouse, open in print friendly. Only because I have about 97 windows open.
So it's taking its time.
Is that all?
Andy, if you just put your cursor in front of the word Robert there and select all of the text down to the bottom of the obituary.
Yes. I can
and then right click in that.
Okay.
You should be able to save or print just the selection.
Right. Agree. Okay, so this is probably not the best example. How about paragraph and then a graphic, paragraph and then ads, paragraph and then more advertising. Okay,
Yeah.
where you don't want all the advertising. As I said, it's probably not the best.
Well, the thing nowadays, and this happens on my iPhone all the time, I go
Here it
to
is.
Reader View, and in Reader
Okay.
View, it eliminates all of the ads.
Yeah.
This is in Chrome. This
Is there a
print
Reader
friendly.
View? Chrome should have a Reader View up next to in the address box. There should be a Reader View.
I don't think the real Google Chrome has Reader View built in. You have to load the extension called Reader View. Firefox
Edge has Reader View built in.
Yes, Firefox Edge has what they call the immersive reader, and Firefox has a Reader View built in.
Okay, there's a Reader View, but again, you could. I don't know what that does with the. It could very well be the same thing.
Well, now you can print that. That
Close
should
up
have
the
just
Reader
one
View.
page.
Okay, but that's not going to. That's not going to. That's not going to show you what the print friendly can do. So over here, I want a big. I don't care about sign in. I click that, get rid of that. Share obituary. Don't care about a small picture. Send flowers. Plant a tree.
So this is Reader View on steroids.
And then down at the bottom, all that stuff. I can get rid of that.
Reader view doesn't let you edit it. It just gets rid of the junk
Yeah.
distractions.
Like I said, what I like about it is you can get rid of as much or as little as you want. So if there are embedded graphics, maybe you want to keep one of the embedded graphics, but you don't want three of them. Maybe you want one of the hyperlinks that's in there that you know is advertising, but you don't want most of them. You can go through and you can selectively get rid of what you don't want.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And you know, and then it gives you the choice. You can print it, you can create a PDF, email it, whatever. The other thing that's nice, when I've sent a couple of things to different people, you have a highlighter in here, right in here. So you can just highlight whatever you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that has a few nice features that Print Edit WE doesn't have.
That you don't have to use a different app to do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I said, for whatever it's worth, just pass it on. You were talking about browsers and
The OCR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's handy. I would probably put that in to use and see if it can do more for me than Print Edit WE.
well, it's worth knowing about.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, even if you never use it, the fact that that one time that you're going to need it, if it's installed, it's an extension, doesn't take up a lot of real estate. Hey, look, great. Plus, it's cross-platform. Windows, Linux, Chromebook. Because you're in the browser. So this is probably the most extensive chat list we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and none of it has to do with Linux.
Actually, if you think about it, it all has to do with Linux. Because you're talking about cross-platform stuff.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
It's all browser related. Who's using something on Windows and what's available on Linux, or what's on Linux and how are you doing it in Windows? The idea, the topic of discussion a couple of months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, and certainly for the next few months, is going to be the demise ? Windows 10. What's going on with that? And I'm thinking it's more a non-issue because, like many of you, I remember playing with stuff that was what was one of them? They used to call it. I think it had a good following. WordPerfect.
Yeah.
And some little company called Lotus. They had I don't know, an ABC product or a Ubuntu, whatever, something. If you wanted to do a presentation, you were going to do a meeting for somebody. Harvard Graphics, what the hell was that? And I remember seeing reports on green and white bar stock paper. Well, guess what? All these people that are looking at, oh, poor me, Windows 10 isn't going to be around. I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to do Windows 11? Should I go to Linux? Get over it. It's not going to be around. The companies that develop that stuff don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
What was Ashton Tate famous for? Who was the company that wrote Paradox? They were all kitchen table names. Multimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this Studebaker parked next to a Packard the other day.
Yeah. And I remember driving my Oldsmobile and my Pontiac. Guess what? This guy, I don't know, one of the guys from the computer group, what the hell was his name? Chris? Said something about the only thing about change is
constant. Yes. And it gets faster and faster.
Yeah. So, hey, get with the program.
That's right. Absolutely.
So is it strictly Linux?
No.
No, Linux is, it's a side thought.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's what do you use to get things done, and how do things get done? And is it a person doing it, or is it a machine doing it?
Did you see, it's a Raspberry Pi thing, but on, I think it may have been on Facebook that I saw the ad for this thing is a box that they're selling that can use your Raspberry Pi for a NAS. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi, but this box, it's, you can put 4 or 5 disk drives into it and a Raspberry Pi and create your own NAS.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do. Have you seen the rig where they hook up like 32 Raspberry Pis on the same backbone, and it's running Kubernetes on those Raspberry Pis. So they actually have 32 Raspberry Pi stacked up, and they're all Ethernet into a hub, and they're all talking to each other, and they're all running a Kubernetes cluster.
Wow. What people will do because they have time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because on I normally come from the Windows world, and I use a program on Windows called Snagit. And that captures web pages and allows me to eliminate the crap. But that's only on Windows, and you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, print friendly and print edit WE will do pretty much the same for you for free. I just installed print friendly. That looks pretty good.
Richard, how's that Raspberry Pi keyboard? I've seen them advertise it. Have you tried it? It's all-in-one, right? Like, except for the monitor.
Yeah, it's Raspberry Pi 400, so it's built into the keyboard. I only just bought it a couple of weeks ago, so I haven't actually connected it up yet.
Okay.
I still need to.
Well, give us a report on that next time.
Download the operating system onto an SD card. It's got a little slot to put it in.
And you connect an external mouse onto that, or does it have a little trackpad?
Yeah. You can. It's got the provision for USB connectors for mice and various other things.
It's got an Ethernet port, a couple of USB-A and USB-C ports, and some kind of an expansion port, looks like. GPIO pins, I think, for the Pi.
Right. And then there's the HDMI out.
You actually have access to full Pi functionality.
That's cool. That's a full desktop computer in the keyboard.
Is the Ethernet, USB.
On a micro SD reader too.
So is that a Pi?
Got 2 micro HDMI for running monitors, 2 monitors. All built in.
So, and then there's a Raspberry Pi on the inside of that?
Yeah. It's Raspberry Pi 400, they call it.
Yeah, it's probably like
that's the small one, the little one about that big.
It's a Pi 4. Has a Pi 4 in it.
But Raspberry Pi 4 inside the keyboard.
4 gigabytes of RAM, Wi-Fi, 4K video.
Sounds like a nice little Linux computer there.
Yeah. $89 on Amazon in the US.
Now, print friendly.
Wow.
Can I throw out a Linux question?
Sure.
No.
Sergey, this is aimed at you, but everybody, please
Oh,
join in.
I'll duck. Go ahead.
Nope, Linux Mint. I have 20.3, and I mentioned to you, I can't upgrade to the current, to 22.1. Overwhelmingly, any place you look, it says, nope, you can't do it. It's a two-step thing. You have to do 20.x to 21 something, then 21 to 22.
Yep.
Okay. And overwhelmingly, the recommendation is you're better off with a clean install. Okay?
Yep.
Now, with that being said, my current arrangement, my Linux partitions are a root partition, a home partition, and a swap partition.
Okay.
Now, would the general recommendation be to blow all, do a backup and blow all three of them away? Or can I simply install home or root to root, home to home, swap to swap that exist, and it will put everything. It would put the 22 version in home, but it would leave my root, but it would leave my home partition intact.
Well, I assume that you don't hate what you have on your home partition now.
No.
So
it's got data. It's got everything.
therefore, I wouldn't bother creating a new home partition. Just have it put it on the root partition, and then you can just refudge it. You can just repoint your home partition to point to your old home. So that's one. But before you do anything else, I would very much recommend migrating the whole thing to LVM. But that's just my peeve. It'll make it so much easier for everything you do in the future.
Okay, migrate everything to LVM
First. Because then you can shovel around LVM volumes to your heart's content, shrink them, expand them as you need to.
With one caveat, you have to have Sergey's brain to do it.
Nah, LVM documentation is pretty darn good. And LVM is really, really, really fairly straightforward to use as long as you're not doing esoteric things like snapshots of snapshots and all that kind of crap. But you can do snapshots too. LVM's cool about that.
My two concerns, among the many concerns that I had, was number one, if I said, okay, put root to root, home to home, swap to swap.
Swap is almost irrelevant unless you have very little memory.
Yeah, it's 16 gig on that box.
Okay. Don't make a separate swap partition, make a swap file. But you can do that later or earlier or whatever, or however. You can change all these things. None of these things are set in stone. Your root partition is
as long as they don't get wiped out. So I'm thinking, if I say put root to root and home to home, does it overwrite my existing home with all the config files and the rest of it with a blank home?
I would very much expect that if you tell it to put a brand new partition on the disk, it'll prompt you and say everything will be wiped out.
Okay.
What I normally do is I create a new LVM volume and I install on that. That way, if you decide that you want to go back, you can just go back to the old one. Once you're done, you can just drop that volume and off you go. You've freed up some space that you can add to any other volume.
Well, you can just edit the password file or use a command and change where your home directory is anyway, can't you?
Absolutely. Your home
That's
directory.
Just a normal operation.
Your home directory, what is /home on your system, is just a mount point on your root volume. You decide what gets mounted there. And there's a nice little file called in /etc called fstab that you can use to tell it exactly what to mount on that mount point. So you can change where your home lives at any time.
I mean, this
To
is
make that easier to happen, your root home directory is usually not on the home volume. Your root home directory is usually on your root volume. Of course, that's not very relevant for Linux Mint and other Ubuntu derivatives because you really don't have a root account. But that's okay. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
You can still fudge your fstab and then just reboot. Or actually, you can remount things from your fstab manually with mount-a as a root. And then your home directory location will literally magically change without rebooting your system. Do an experiment on a virtual machine to convince yourself. That way you know that you're not missing anything and you know that you're not giving anything up. And you can play with LVM to your heart's content.
I think that's what you call play
What's that?
before you pray. I think that's what you call play before you pray.
That's a good way to put it. You know, for me, it's just peace of mind. When I first started doing these migrations of partitions to LVM, yeah, you better believe it. I did some experiments. There are actually two ways to experiment with storage that I know of that are pretty easy. One way is to create a virtual machine, obviously, but another way is to use loop devices. A loop device is something that says, here, allocate me a plain vanilla file. Now make it look like a block device, like a whole disk, whatever size you want. And they can actually be sparse so that they only use up the space that you actually use.
Yeah, you showed us how to do that, didn't you?
What's that? Yeah. But loop devices are very easy to set up and dismantle, and then you can just use it as a disk device. So you can make it an LVM physical volume. You can put partitions on it. You can just do all kinds of things, and all of it stays in that one file in your regular file system. Or you can go full bore and experiment with a virtual machine.
Well, between the research and the head scratching, the one thing that you have confirmed is the old maxim, the triangle. Cheap, quick, and good. You get to pick any 2 out of 3.
Oh, absolutely. That is a constant.
Yeah.
That is a constant. But think about how much joy you can get out of playing with it. What else you got to do?
True.
True.
On a day when you
and just think how much you could teach the rest of us when you do go through that process. Because I can't teach that stuff because it's not new to me. But you could, because you will go through the experience and you will know what person with your level of starting knowledge will have to go through and where the tough spots are going to be.
Yeah.
And we'd love to hear you tell us about that next time.
I'm playing with Chromebook at this point.
There's
you
no end
put
to
Linux
toys.
on the Chromebook?
No. I picked up a Chromebook to ward off the evils of Windows 10 ending. Kind of a what am I going to do when I grow up? I don't know. So I picked up an inexpensive Chromebook to play with, and I'm getting a hell of an education so far. I've been very, very favorably impressed.
Yep, I hear they're good. Did you get a cheaper one or a high-end one?
Nope, $300.
Nice.
So you didn't listen to the APCUG video from that guy in Canada about Chromebooks?
Yes, I did. I'm sure I did. Where he was talking about, go for the high-end ones.
Yeah.
I got a Chromebook Plus with 8 gig of RAM, and I don't know how much storage it is. It's a Chromebook Plus. It supports Linux. I turned on Christini. I've installed dozens of apps using sudo apt install, whatever the hell I want. I have cloud drive, cloud storage. Yeah, so
So it is a Chromebook Plus.
How much
Yes, it is.
SSD does it have, and how much memory can you shove in it?
you can no the memory's hardwired. I can't expand the memory.
Oof.
So
8 gig
but-
means
Yeah, but it's a
hundreds of
Chromebook.
tabs might get slow in your browser. Those browsers will
Yep.
eat memory for lunch.
haven't experienced it.
Yeah,
As far as the storage, I don't even know whether it's 256 or a terabyte. I don't even know what storage is, because after I did the TDU stuff, the typical dumb user, and I actually looked at the one out of the 4-page foldout. The foldout's all of about a 5x7 piece of paper, and that's because it has 4 languages on there. I plugged it in. I set it up. I gave it, a numeric password to log in. I did the update, the upgrade. Everything's cool. And,
Where did you get it?
Costco.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, share the model
by
with
the
us.
way-
Yeah,
Oh, by the way-
put the model into the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, I went up to Costco weeks ago, and I was asking them about Chromebooks, and the guy says, "Oh no, we don't have any. You want it,
Yeah, well.
maybe online." And it was one of their emails where they had it. I ordered it. Because of the hour, try to make my long story short. I got it in, and it came with a mouse. It came with a wireless mouse, a Bluetooth mouse. And boom, 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 back and forth, back and forth. The damn mouse won't work. So it's like, and I had done all kinds of stuff, added browsers, customizations, and what the hell. And I plugged another mouse in, and the mouse worked. Okay, now we've narrowed it down. Yes, it is a dead mouse. So Amazon to the rescue. Put an order in. I got a Logitech mouse delivered the next day, $15, $18 or whatever the hell it was. And it worked. I opened up the Chromebook. It says, "Oh, I found him another mouse. Is this the one?" Yep. Up and running. I go back to Costco. I said, "Look, I bought this. I'm happy with the device. I know I can return it and but I don't want to. The time and the expense to return it, get another one, and who knows if I'm going to have a problem with that mouse." So she says, "Oh, well, why don't you call up online, see what they can do for you?" Got a nice lady on the phone after, the Chinese menu of one if you want English and one if, finally get a hold of somebody. She says, "How much did you pay for the mouse?" I don't know, it was $15, $16 in tax and whatever. "How about we just give you a $20 credit?" Done. You want the mouse? No, you can keep it. So I have a dead mouse that I'll probably bury. And that was it. So I'm up and running. Coincidentally, I was in Costco yesterday, walking through there.
Yeah.
And they had an Acer Chromebook on display. Wonderful. First thing I did was go over to it, look at the settings. It does not let you enable the developer piece for the Linux part of it. So it's something to really be aware of. Just because they're out there, they're Chromebooks, I don't care what they call them, but you want to make sure that you can turn on the Linux piece. There are also 2 ways of having Linux on there. There's the official way and then the unofficial way. So it's kind of interesting. The other thing where I became sold when I was concerned about the storage, because I eat up disk space like it's cotton candy. I plugged a flash drive in. Boom, immediately right there. Extra storage, all the storage you want. So
Is this
so
one?
far-
Which Chromebook did you get? Is it an Acer?
no, an HP.
The HP. They have an HP for $279. Available from Costco online. 14-inch, 8 gigabytes of memory, and it's a Chromebook Plus.
I
Yeah,
got mine Mine is a Chromebook Plus.
And right now it's got $170 off on Costco.
Yeah, it was a low. It was one of those, come on, give us your money type thing. What did I get?
Yeah, it's an Intel Core i3
Yes.
and
Sounds
305 processor.
And
Sounds
yeah.
nice.
Does it have an item number there, John? Chromebook Plus, yeah. 1920 by 1080 resolution.
Yeah,
Includes
the item
sleep.
number is 1913854.
No, mine was 1825554.
Well, they've got one on sale right now.
Yeah. So at any
Usually
rate,
$450.
yeah. I've been very pleasantly surprised. And the reason you said I obviously didn't listen to the guy. Yes, I did listen, but it's not going to cost me. It cost me $500 less than the going rate for the high-end Chromebooks. If I had a toy, I know my grandkids can use a $300 Chromebook at any point.
Yeah.
If I didn't want it, if it was a futile experiment, I don't mind kissing away the $300. Give it to the grandkids. If I was kissing away an $800 item, well, I don't know. I love my grandkids, but $300 item will do them just as good. And they have their own already. So, I did listen. Listen to all the stuff that goes on. Look at the stuff in the chat. Attend a lot of workshops. Listen to what all kinds of people have to say.
So the fact that you were able to get a Chromebook Plus means that they're doing pretty well. I've been looking for a new computer, and the things that I want Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and Copilot Plus on a Windows PC. And I'd like a current generation Intel CPU. And let me tell you, there aren't a lot of them. And the ones that are out there that have come up new, the reports on them, even on Dell, are this thing has not been wrung out. The drivers don't work. This failed after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which was after their return period. So getting a good new PC right now, if you really want to get something that's got all the latest features, including those that I just mentioned, you've got to work. You may have to wait. But the Chromebook Plus, if you can get that sounds like it's got the latest stuff. It's not going to do fast AI, but you're going to do that online then, because it's a Chromebook.
Yeah.
My Wi-Fi 6. I don't have 7. But again, you know what? I wouldn't be able to tell the difference anyway.
No, and you're
Wi-Fi.
probably not going to update your router too soon.
No. No.
Yep.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. It's fine. I'm fine with it.
You'll have to show us how it works with Linux. You did a great job tonight, Bill.
Hey,
I like your agenda.
There you go.
It's the user agenda.
The preparation.
Now all you gotta do is work on getting these recordings up on the what you call like I'll talk to you separately, John, about breaking into chatters and stuff like that to clean these things up.
I appreciate also that you had a meeting.
Well, yeah.
Because there aren't many meetings going on this summer.
Okay. Yeah, well.
So thanks for continuing to keep us active and being able
we
to
do
get
what we
together.
Can, But and I will send out the chat information to the group. So that's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Well, guess what? It's been 2 hours.
I guess we're having fun because time flies.
I guess so. Okay, folks. Well, thanks
Thank
for
you very much.
joining.
Have a good night, and we'll catch you next round.
Okay.
We'll
We
do.
polished the Chrome very well.
Okay.
Great
Okay.
seeing you all. Keep
Later on,
cool
folks.
or
Okay.
warm.
Bye, all.